The world turned white. Snow fell in sheets so thick the trees became ghosts, and sound itself seemed to vanish beneath the weight of silence. In this frozen oblivion, two figures pressed onward, a girl of barely 8 and a bear cub who limped at her side. Anya's coat was a patchwork of rags. Her boots had torn weeks ago, leaving her feet raw and numb. Her cheeks were sunken, her lips split from wind and cold, but her hands never stopped moving, feeding Yasha, stroking his fur, cleaning his wounds. Whatever strength she had, she poured into him. Yasha, still weak from the leg injury, had grown thinner, but he didn't waver. At night, when the cold became unbearable, he curled around her like a living shield, his thick fur her only blanket. His heartbeat lulled her to sleep, and his warmth likely saved her life more than once. Then came the sickness. It started with a cough, then a burning fever that left her sweating and shivering in turns. She mumbled nonsense in her sleep, eyes fluttering under trembling lids. Yasha stayed awake through every moment, licking her face, nudging her upright when she collapsed, bringing her mouthfuls of snow to drink when she couldn't lift her head. She nearly died. For 3 days, she didn't speak. Her body was limp, her breath shallow. On the 4th night, Yasha howled into the sky, a long, mournful sound that seemed to shake the trees. And something answered. It wasn't a bear or a wolf, but the forest itself, responding with a whisper, a stir, a rustle of fate. Then came the wolves. They descended with the dusk, silent shadows slipping between trees. Anya had managed to crawl to the stream for water, leaving Yasha sleeping. She didn't see them until it was too late. Yellow eyes surrounding her like lanterns, lips curled back from dagger teeth. One lunged. A blur of fur and fury exploded from the trees. Yasha. He rammed into the attacker mid-air, teeth sinking into its flank. 2 more wolves joined the fight, claws slashing, blood spraying across the snow like paint. Anya screamed, crawling toward them. Yasha was outnumbered, outmatched. His growls became pained yelps. He was bleeding from his shoulder and leg, barely standing, but he did not back down. His eyes found hers in the chaos, pleading without words. Then something snapped. Anya grabbed a branch, swung wildly, screaming until her throat was raw. The wolves hesitated, long enough for Yasha to land one final blow, forcing them to retreat into the trees. Silence returned, but it was filled with the scent of blood. Yasha collapsed beside her, shuddering. She fell over him, sobbing. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." She couldn't stop the bleeding. Her small hands pressed against wounds that refused to close. Her fever returned with a vengeance, dragging her back into darkness. And that's how the hunter found them. He was old, gray-bearded, more rumor than man, a reclusive figure said to have left the village decades ago after losing his family to wolves. He wandered the taiga alone, more beast than human himself. When he stumbled upon the girl and the bear cub, bloodied, broken, curled together in a silent grave, he almost walked away. Almost. But something in their posture, their bond, made him stop. The bear could have killed her, but it hadn't. The girl could have run, but she hadn't. He carried them both, one in each arm, back to his cabin buried beneath the roots of an ancient tree. For weeks he nursed them in silence, not asking who they were or where they came from. He boiled herbs, stitched wounds, wrapped frostbitten fingers in bear fat and linen. He fed them both from his meager supplies, often going hungry himself. Anya awoke to the crackling of fire. Her first thought was of Yasha. She tried to sit up. Pain shot through her like lightning. "He's alive," the old man rasped, handing her a cup of steaming broth. "Don't talk. Drink." Yasha lay by the hearth, bandaged and breathing. His eyes opened slightly, and when they met hers, something inside her relaxed for the first time in weeks. "You shouldn't have survived," the hunter muttered days later while sharpening a knife. "But you did." Anya watched him silently. She didn't trust him yet, but she owed him everything. As winter deepened, they became a strange trio. The hunter taught Anya how to track, how to find edible roots under snow, how to treat frostbite. He taught her how to listen to the wind and smell snowstorms before they arrived. Yasha, meanwhile, grew stronger, his wounds healing, his coat thickening. He began to roam the edges of the cabin, always watching for threats. They were warm, they were fed, they were alive, but nothing lasts forever. When the first shoots of spring burst from the soil and the air lost its bite, the hunter grew quiet. He spent more time staring into the trees. One morning, he finally spoke. "He won't be small forever," he said, nodding toward Yasha, who was now nearly full-grown. "And when he's grown, the villagers will see him as a monster, not a memory, not a miracle, just a threat." Anya looked away. She already knew. "I can't protect you both," the hunter said. "You'll have to choose." She didn't sleep that night. At dawn, with a heart that felt too big for her chest, she packed her few belongings: bread, a flask, a blanket, and one small object, her mother's necklace, a silver charm shaped like a star. She tied it around Yasha's neck. They walked for miles, deeper into the taiga than even she had ever dared, past the frozen river, beyond the ridge of black pines, until they reached the foot of the mountains. There, hidden beneath a ring of jagged stone, was a cave. It would be safe, remote, forgotten. Yasha sniffed the air, looked back at her. Anya knelt, pressed her forehead to his. Her fingers dug into his fur. Her tears soaked his shoulder. "I'll come find you," she whispered, "no matter what." Yasha didn't whimper. He didn't try to follow as she turned and walked away. But she felt his eyes on her until the trees swallowed her whole. She didn't look back. The return to the village was a blur. She was thinner, older, harder. Her parents embraced her like a ghost returned, but her story, of a bear, a shelter, and a winter of survival, was met with disbelief. "She's making it up," they said. "Children imagine things." The villagers didn't question where she'd been. They didn't care about truth. All that mattered was that the bear was gone. To them, Yasha faded into myth. A story told in whispers, a lesson about foolish love and wild things best left alone. But Anya remembered everything. 6 years later, the forest had changed. So had she. Anya was now 14, tall and lean with the eyes of someone who had seen too much too young. She had returned to the taiga, not with bread or childhood dreams, but with a team of researchers studying wolf migration and climate shifts in the region. They joked. They carried notebooks and cameras. None of them believed her story about the bear. But the woods remembered. As they moved through a particularly dense section of forest, the air shifted. Birds went silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Then, a low growl. Not close, not far, but massive. The group froze. "What was that?" one of them whispered, scanning the trees. "Bear," someone else offered. Anya didn't speak. Her breath caught. Her eyes locked on a shadow between the trunks. Massive, still, watching. The growl came again, deeper this time. Panic erupted. Her team scattered in all directions, yelling. But Anya didn't run. She turned and saw it. A silhouette, towering, scarred. Its eyes gleamed gold in the shadows. Then it stepped forward, and the world seemed to stop.